filed, and we're going to get to the document. It's on this page. They revealed in this document that Diddy's still under investigation. Now, we all imagine that, right? Like, you don't think Diddy's not under investigation. But they claim that they're listening to all Diddy's calls, and they've been, like, cataloging whatever. And that was a little bit alarming. I'm going to tell you why. Usually when the feds come in, their case is already done, right? Except, we get it, they don't want him to get bail. But they're claiming that they're still trying to listen to jail calls to make a case. That's a little bit weird to me. It says they're still investigating and they're investigating things that he's saying and blah, blah. And I'm like, well, if y'all already have a case, why y'all... I get it, y'all don't want him out, but that was a little weird. That's a little odd to me. Because the feds usually come with their T's crossed and their I's dotted. Now, I'm going to tell you why that's interesting as well. Diddy's lawyers in their bail proposal, right? They also said, they said they got 23.5 terabytes of discovery. They said they got some of the discovery, and they said one of the big things that's important. They said that the feds claim they have a second victim. We know the first victim is Cassie. They said the feds claim they got a second victim, but they said, and you'll see it here, they said despite the government's claim, the woman is not a trafficking victim. The defense has learned the government has not even spoken to her. So they're saying that essentially this whole case against Diddy is one victim so far. Now, granted, they might be working on a superseding indictment. We don't know, but it's only one victim so far. That's kind of shocking. What the fuck? The government filed an entire racketeering case against Diddy with only Cassie in mind. Now, granted, they're still working on it, but if everything they've turned over to Diddy so far doesn't, at least according to them, doesn't suggest there's another victim, and there's no proof of another victim yet. So that looks weird. Okay. Now, granted, I do believe there's a superseding indictment coming soon, but currently what they got on them is, y'all tell me that y'all gonna convict this man of a crime that carries up to life in prison for Cassie? With all due respect, got no problem with Cassie, but it's like, I think a reasonable person could say, did he take advantage of her? Probably did. Did he beat her? Probably did. But was she with the shits with him at times? And was she in cahoots? Did she recruit other niggas to come be a part of their freak-offs? Probably sounds like that too. So if Cassie is the only witness that they're going to put against Diddy, I don't think that's going to finna work. I'm going to be honest with you, right? So I guess when they got the discovery, they're like, wait, Cassie's only the witness? Well, we got mad things to say to that. Cassie tried to extort us for 6 months before she filed and we paid her. And by the way, here's the thing that also came out. The government opened up their investigation on Diddy days after Cassie's lawsuit. So really it's heavy on Cassie. So again, that's just more evidence to what Diddy's saying. Yo, why am I locked in here when y'all don't have nothing y'all claimed y'all had? Now, again, I'm just trying to be fair. I don't give a fuck about Diddy. I don't give a fuck about really any of these people involved. I'm just trying to call a spade a spade. If I'm a defense attorney, that's actually, if I get a discovery and it's being described like they described it, kind of looks good for us. You know why? We kind of knew the government was a little bit on bullshit because they put out the baby oil story. There's no crime for baby oil. Why y'all not talking about crimes? Y'all shaming us for kinks. Yeah, Diddy's probably a nigga who used baby oil to get fucked in his ass. I don't know. But who knows? So what I'm saying is that wasn't a crime though. So his lawyers are saying, we got the discovery or some of the discovery. And right now it's only saying it's Cassie. So the Lil Roz, all these other women who are suing, by the way, they might get eventually put in a lawsuit. They might get put in this trial as witnesses. The government are probably like trying to talk to them, trying to figure out whatever. They're probably getting put in front of new grand juries. But currently, apparently Diddy, the criminal indictment against Diddy is solely because of Cassie. And I do believe if it's only that, I think Diddy has a puncher's chance of beating this shit. Okay. So I've kind of given you the context of that, right? again, I'm not trying to taint what you guys think, even though that's why I hate giving my opinion up top. Here's the thing too. So okay, cool. So Diddy said, "Yo, y'all case seems like bullshit," and they're coming back to say, "Oh, our investigation's not done, and all we could see is Diddy's in jail trying to fuck up our investigation. He's trying to reach out to people to blah blah. He's trying to have his kids plan stuff in the media to change the narrative." And I'm going to be honest with you, and this is the last thing I'll say before I get to the documents. It's very funny with the feds and even the government, right? Well, the feds is government. When remember when they were like your sources that are federal investigator sources were saying blah, 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 blah. Nobody, well, Diddy's lawyers tried to say something. And by the way, the judge did put a gag order on that. But it feels like the feds are more mad that Diddy's trying to do his own propaganda. Yeah, you're going against the government, but Diddy's a billionaire. Yeah, Diddy's probably paying off some whores. He's probably paying off some niggas. Probably paying off some niggas who sucked his dick. He's telling his kids, yo, post my birthday shit. Have the youngest daughter singing it and lighting a candle. It'll make people feel bad for me. Yes, Diddy's trying to, and again, here's the thing. This is such a popular case. You're gonna see they're accusing Diddy of trying to taint the jury pool. But you don't think the feds tainted the jury pool by leaking the video with Cassie? So it's kind of interesting because the feds are playing chess with Diddy, but they're kind of respecting him as a billionaire because Diddy's playing chess too. They're trying to say Diddy's trying to affect this whole case by doing underhanded things. And I'm like, well, y'all did the same thing too. Y'all leaked the video. Y'all are telling people to come out with these rumors, this and third. Yeah, y'all are doing what Diddy's doing. Why? Shit, if I'm going against the government, I would try to do the same thing Diddy doing. Like, yo, let me try to even up the playing field. Right? Okay. That's my takeaway. But don't take it from me. Let's go to the actual document, okay? So the filing that got put in is it was filed the 15th, so I guess Friday, right? Or Friday or Thursday. This is the government's motion for opposition to the defendant's renewed bail for motion, okay? Or motion for bail. Let's kind of read into this. It says the government respectfully submits its opposition to the defendant's Sean Combs. And by the way, here's the thing too. Oh, this is the last thing because I wanted to just kind of summarize before I got into reading a lot. The government is claiming that Diddy's running the jail. What I mean by running the jail, Diddy gets what he wants. He gets to contact whoever he wants, talk on the phone to whoever he wants, and they believe that that's an attempt to try to subverge whatever this investigation process is. Here's the reality of that, though. Without calling any names, I've talked to a lot of rappers or people, no close friends, but like rappers and rap people in jail. Every time I've talked to them, it's always like three-way calling, this and yeah, that's kind of normal, my nigga. Like they're getting at Diddy for shit that every inmate does. Cause again, I'm not too familiar with the jail process, especially MDC Brooklyn, but apparently you have an authorized contact list, so you could call those people. But what happens is that when you call those people, a lot of times they do three-way calling. Now they usually say don't do three-way calling, but come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like play this. Even 6ix9ine, when 6ix9ine was locked up in snitch jail, wherever the fuck that was, Jade used to be on the phone with him 18 hours a day, right? Just reading comments of that motherfucker. If he told Jade, yo, call Ak, that's the only way I got that girl number. Like he would be like, yo, call Ak right now. She put me on a three-way. Yo, 6, what's poppin' with you, bro? Yeah, I'm just chilling here, nigga. I'm about to get out, nigga. I'm about to go fuck some more bit. Now, you couldn't say that because she's listening on the call, I would imagine. But yeah, so this is kind of normal. And I'm not saying normal like it's legal or it's allowed, but they're trying to get at Diddy for shit that every inmate does. And then they're claiming he's running the jail. Yeah, anybody with money and power that could pay for other inmates to do shit, it's not running the jail. You know what I mean? Like it's not like we're hearing the COs are bending to his knees. We're hearing that other inmates are giving up calls and trying to make sure he's comfortable. Kind of makes sense. It's not a Diddy privilege. It seems like a rich nigga privilege. A nigga gonna fill your commissary or have his people send money to your people, right? Anyway, the government is making it seem like Diddy is some villain in jail, okay? Let me read through this real quickly. I know this is 30 pages. I will not be reading 30 pages. I'm going to skip through it really quickly. Here we go. The government respectfully submits its opposition to defendant Combs' renewed motion for bail. The defendant's motion for bail should be denied. As two judges have already concluded based on the evidence on the record, the defense poses significant serious risk of danger and obstruction to these proceedings. In seeking a new hearing, the defendants rehashes the same arguments rejected by two judges with claim of new evidence, but the defendants offers nothing new and material justifying a third bail hearing. In fact, the only true new relevant evidence shows that the defendant has continued to engage in a relentless course of obstructive conduct designed to subvert the integrity of these proceedings. As described below, while attempting to evade law enforcement monitoring, the defendant has, among other things, orchestrated social media campaigns that are, in his own words, aimed at tainting the jury pool. Now, let's be honest, chat. This is what I'm saying. This is a little bit unfair. Y'all leaked a video of him beating Cassie's ass. We all think he's guilty right now. Why can't he put out a birthday message? That's what they're talking about. Him telling his kids to like put out things to make him seem human. Yo, have y'all sing happy birthday to me type shit. Yeah, have my youngest. That's what they're saying. So you're saying that what y'all did, which is on the low, is cool. But him trying to make himself seem human is bad. Whatever, cool. It says made efforts to publicly leak materials he views as helpful to his case. Again, I don't find a problem with that. And contacted witnesses through third parties. Now, that's a problem, okay? For reasons the court should deny the defendant a bail hearing. Okay. So his motion ignores significant evidence provided by the government on prior hearings that the defendant is a violent serial abuser who uses vast wealth and position in the entertainment industry to conceal his illegal conduct and prevent victims of and witness to his abuse from coming forward. Okay, let's go down a little bit. So here we go. Indictment and arrest, defendant remand. This is a little background. This is an argument that uses applicable law. It points out right here. It says, then the discussion. So the court should reject the defendant's attempt to reopen a bail hearing based on the same information he presented to Judge Carter. Okay, and then it says he's rehashing the same personal attacks he made against victim one before Judge Carter is not new information, which means that, he's saying, Diddy was saying that Cassie was trying to shake him down. So the defendant claimed that the communications between defendant and victim one, which were recently produced in a discovery as part of the defendant's electronic devices and accounts, constitute new material. The defendant claims that the recently produced text messages reveal a loving, at times toxic, and long-term relationship between two adults who mutually decided to break up. This claim is nothing new. Defense counsel made these exact points previously and even referred to the text messages and communications. At the September 17, 2024 hearing, after noting that he had looked through more text messages and email than he cared to, the defense counsel observed, this is a 10-year relationship. This sex trafficking is a 10-year relationship. These two people are in love. That will be made abundantly clear by the way they speak to each other, by the way other witnesses describe their time together, and by circumstances of how they broke up. They were in love, but Mr. Combs wasn't always faithful. At the end of the day, there was mutual philandering, and victim number one ended up marrying the trainer that Mr. Combs got for her and had 2 children. That signaled the end of the relationship. They're saying there's nothing about the content of these text messages. Okay, cool. Let me get to some more interesting stuff for y'all, okay? So they're basically trying to debunk that the reason why Diddy's locked up is because Cassie tried to get some money, and they told Cassie to fuck off, and then Cassie filed the lawsuit, even though they paid or settled afterwards, right? Cool. So it says the court should reject, this is the next thing, the court should reject the defendant's request to open a bail hearing because the defendant disagrees with the government use of the term victim. Ooh, that's interesting. So basically Diddy's saying, yo, Cassie wasn't a victim. We was getting lit together. We was getting high, getting drunk, fucking. We was freaking off. We was doing everything together. How's she a victim when we was both having fun? We were having the time of our life. So the defendant next accuses the government of misleading the court to the nature of certain of the defendant's communication with another victim, victim two. The government did no such thing. The defendants, no. They're not talking about Cassie, victim one. They're talking about victim two. Victim two, we don't know who that is, but it's someone who Diddy claims is not a victim, right? And also Diddy claims that the government has not spoken with. So let's see if we get some insight who that is. The defendant's primary point of contention appears to be the government characterization of this individual as a victim. In quibbing about how to label victim two, an individual whom the defendant continues to pay a significant monthly sum continues. Ooh. Oh my God, who's that? Diddy's paying victim two right now? Let's look at this thing. Bank records show the defendant payments to victim two as recently as mid-September 2024. The government has requested and awaiting updated financial document. So this person who's victim two, so Cassie's victim one, she got her settlement. They're saying victim two, we don't know who that is, but maybe Diddy, hollered at her type shit. I'm like, yo, let me pay you off real quick. Okay. That's interesting. So Diddy keeps paying this person. So the defendant does not present any new information or grapple with the actual evidence. These messages are recorded between the defendant and victim two, on which the government relied at the initial bail hearing, are clear on their face and consistent with the government's representations. The defendant was leveraging significant financial benefits to cause victim two to adopt his narrative of their relationship. Whether or not the defendant agrees with the characterization of victim two as a victim, for the purposes of this criminal case, the communications highlighted by the government indicate that the defendant used financial coercion. Oh my God. Paying a chick off? They're basically saying he thought paying the girl off means she's not a victim, but she's still a victim. Okay. Financial coercion to attempt to feed victim to a narrative that was consistent with his defense theory, a theory at odds with I can't say the word. What the fuck? Contemporaneous? Yeah, I think I got it. Text message by victim two, sent by victim two to the defendant and others. The defendant just threatened me about my sex tapes. Oh, I guess victim two said this. Diddy just threatened me about my sex tapes, where I'm heavily drugged and doing things he asked of me. Oh, shit. In light of the defendant's continued financial support of victim two, it is not the government, but rather the defendant that's misleading the court. Ooh, okay. Now, the defendant's contact with the witnesses. Okay. Now, this is Kalina Harper, I believe, right? They're talking about. Give me 1 second. This is Kalina Harper, which is Diddy Dirty Money, that girl who went against her group mate, Dawn Richards. And we played her video before. The defendant attempts to spin his contacts with witnesses, including witnesses served with a grand jury subpoena, as evidence rebutting the government's proof of obstruction, fail in their entirety. For example, the defendant claims that the government misled the court and concealed the actual content of communication between the government and a witness who was served with a grand jury subpoena in June 2024. As a initial matter in the nature and substance of the defendant's. Okay, cool. Specifically, phone records show that at the end of 2024 and January 2024, witness one occasionally contacted the defendant by phone without any response from the defendant. So this woman would call Diddy, or this person, we think it's Kalina. She would call Diddy, no answer. That changed in June 2024. Witness one was served with a grand jury subpoena on the 19th, and after contacting the government, was appointed counsel on June 25, 2024, and beginning on 26, only after they've been served with blah, blah, the defendant initiated contact with witness one, which the defendant attempted to obscure by initially calling witness one's wife. Whoa, oh, never mind. This is not Kalina. Witness one's wife, and later communicating with witness one over a voice over IP service, including by text and a call lasting over 7 minutes. Is a voice over IP? Could that be FaceTime? Interesting. The following day phone records indicate that witness one spoke with counsel for the defendant. Okay, even though witness one was represented by counsel, he and the defendant continued to directly exchange text messages, and defense counsel spoke with witness one again on July 8th. Following witness one testimony in the grand jury in July 2025, on July 25th, the defendant called and texted witness one again. Who's witness one? The defendant repeated contact with witness one despite his apparent knowledge of witness one was represented by. Okay. Yeah, we don't know who witness one is. It's a man, though. Interesting. Although the phone records confirm that the defendant using a particular phone number and witness one exchanged multiple text messages from June 2024 to August 2024, there was no such messages recovered from the defendant's cell phone associated with that number. So they're saying he deleted it. Witness 2, this is Kalina right here. The defendant also claims that the defendant contacts in September 2024 with an individual represented by counsel who want to make a public statement. Were in no way obstructive because defendant and witness 2 were previously in frequent contact. However, the contact between defendant and witness 2, who are bandmates, obviously Kalina and Dawn, it stopped in March 2024. And from the timeline and the context of the defendant's contact with witness 2, it's clear that the defendant reinitiated contact with witness 2 in September. His purpose was to ensure that witness 2 was on his side and to pressure witness 2 to make a public statement denying allegations of violence by the defendant. The defendant reached out to witness 2 on September 11th, 2024, and sent her a copy of the lawsuit against the defendant, in which witness 2's name was mentioned several times. Definitely Kalina. The defendant called witness 2 and they spoke for nearly 6 minutes. God damn. Did they tap the phones? What the fuck? After reading the lawsuit, witness 2 called the defendant back at his request and they spoke for 4 minutes. Evidently, the defendant and witness 2 discussed witness 2 drafting a statement, as immediately after the call, the defendant told witness 2 in a text message. Ooh, they got all the text messages. This is redacted. The defendant then asked witness 2 for her attorney's name. From September 11th to the 15th, defendant and witness 2 exchanged multiple text messages and calls and at least 128 phone contacts in total. Throughout these phone contacts, the defendant repeatedly asked witness 2 when she planned to post her statement. Okay, witness 2 ultimately made a statement about the lawsuit via an Instagram post on September 13th. There's a lot of redaction here, so this is going to be some stuff the feds are using later. Then, after the defendant was in custody, Bureau of Prisons investigators recovered the following notes from the defendant's cell during a pre-planned nationwide sweep of the facilities. So they raided Diddy's cell, but they're saying we didn't raid it because we wanted to raid Diddy. It's a pre-planned nationwide sweep. They said that the strong inference is being drawn from the defendant's communication with witness 2, and his personal notes is that the defendant paid witness 2 after she posted the statement. Oh, so the government is claiming that Diddy paid Kalina. Wow. Yo, Diddy a slick nigga, man. I don't know. Cannot the hustle, huh? Okay. Give me 1 second here. Everybody good? Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to make sure everybody is... Is everybody good? Okay. Are y'all good? Oh, y'all think witness 1 is Roger Bond? Okay, great. All right, my boy, I see you good, Jank. Okay. Oh, damn. You see, these give us a lot more evidence than we ever knew there was on Diddy. All right. So okay. So they're saying that they feel like Diddy paid off witness two. That's Kalino. We don't know who witness one is. Some of y'all saying is Roger Bond. I'm gonna have to do some more digging to find out who that is. From the timeline, the content, and the context of the communication between Diddy and Kalina, the defendant's goal was clear for Kalina is to draft and post a statement. Even after the defendant knew that witness two had counsel, he continued to reach out to her directly. A fact that clearly concerned Judge Carter, and rightfully so, that the defendant had multiple phone contacts with witness two up until March 2024. It changes nothing about the damning timeline and contents about the call in September. These communications are another example of the defendant using manipulation, influence, and power to persuade a witness to support him. With respect to the materials received from the Bureau of Prisons that included possible privileged materials, that's the note that they found, such as notes in Diddy's cell, the prosecution team only accessed those materials after they were reviewed by the filter team. So apparently there's a filter team that says, yo, if y'all are raiding a inmate's cell for contraband, if they're writing notes necessarily that could be about their case or whatever, or maybe communications with their lawyer, which should be privileged, y'all can't just take their notes. Like that doesn't work. But they have a team that kind of, I guess it's called by a filter team, that reviews it, and I would imagine it's a third party team, reviews everything found to be like, this y'all could see, or this definitely you can't see. And apparently they said that the note taken from Diddy's cell was being able to see. Damn. I can't even imagine Diddy being locked up in them raiding his cell. Okay. Based on the foregoing, the defendant has not demonstrated is entitled to. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. He cannot rely on section, blah, blah. We can't go for that. And then he poses, all right, we see none already. And he's continued his efforts to obstruct justice. Now, this is going to be the interesting part. As noted above, the evidence presented to Judge Tarnowski and Judge Carter amply supported their findings that the defendant, Diddy, posed a risk of obstructed justifying pretrial detention, okay, and would be sufficient to this court, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Okay, now here's the interesting part. Since the defendant has been detained at MDC, he's continued to try to evade law enforcement monitoring, corruptly influencing witness testimony and further attacking the integrity of these proceedings. Now it says since the defendant's arrest, the government has continued to investigate. And this was a little bit odd to me. So he says, since he's been locked up, they've been continuing to investigate him and his obstructive conduct, and began receiving recordings of the defendant's calls from prison in October 2024. These calls are in their entirety will be produced to the defendant through a filter team prior to the bail hearing scheduled for November 22nd. The government did not previously disclose these recordings due to its ongoing investigation. So they're saying that previously they were listening to all his jail calls, trying to still build a case. Kind of like, feels like they're still trying to get a little bit more. Now, again, they haven't played all their cards yet, but they're still reaching and digging for more. The government did not, but is doing so now given the recent escalation in the defendant's efforts to influence the jury pool in this criminal case, set out in detail below. Now, this is one interesting part right here that I think, let me play Lawyer for Workers, my guy right here. He spoke about this, and he said this is a little bit odd about this whole filing with Diddy, because why y'all saying he's obstructing justice, he's influencing the jury pool, he's contacting witnesses, but you're not charging him as such? Hear this.
Last time that I checked, witness tampering is a federal and a criminal offense. So if I'm witness tampering, charge me with witness tampering. What your claims of witness tampering without an actual charge of witness tampering has to do with bond is beyond me. And I bet, just a safe bet, that that's going to carry the day. that, oh, government said you witness tampering. Sorry, no bond. But like, charge me with witness tampering. Don't talk about that at my bond motion. Charge me. Last time that I checked.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think these are weak claims, but you know, Diddy's not entitled to a bond, so the government has a lot of tricks to keep him locked up, right? Okay, and for everybody who doesn't give a fuck about the Diddy stuff, just give me about like 10, 15. I'm gonna get through this. Okay, so we're gonna get into some juicy shit now. So this is what he's doing supposedly in prison, and this is why people think, or not prison, but MDC Brooklyn. It says specifically while in custody, the defendant has repeatedly communicated with others in a way that violate BOP rules. BOP, by the way, is Bureau of Prisons, and are designed to evade BOP and law enforcement monitoring, including described below, using the PAC numbers, which is personal access codes, I think, belonging to other inmates to make calls, using three-way calls to contact other individuals, including individuals who are not on his approved contact list, and using an unauthorized third-party communication system to send messages to numerous individuals, including unauthorized contacts. Now, they're going to review everything. This is how they're claiming he's manipulating or he's using other inmates to do his bidding. It says the government has reviewed dozens of recordings from BOP jail cells in which the defendant uses telephone accounts of at least 8 other inmates, which is against BOP regulations. Seemingly to avoid law enforcement monitoring, the defendant uses other inmates' PAC numbers to make phone calls to both individuals on the defendant's approved contact list as well as individuals who are not on the approved contact list. To obtain or maintain access to other inmates' PAC numbers, the defendants direct others to pay the inmates, including through payment processing apps and BOP commissary account deposits. The defendant knows that this is against BOP regulations. At the outset of each telephone call, the inmate is prompted to enter his PAC number, which after there's an automated recording that announces sharing of PAC numbers is against BOP policy and subject to disciplinary action. So they're saying he's using other inmates' shit, okay? And they kind of give another, like, a little, this is how you could know, that he's doing that. They give like a whole footnote to it. Using three-way calling. The defendant also frequently instructs individuals who he contacts by phone, including family members and his attorneys, to add other individuals via three-way. This practice is not authorized by BOP as it helps conceal the identities of the contacted individuals. The government has reviewed multiple phone calls in which the defendant has instructed them to dial in third parties, including members and associates of the enterprise. Ooh, this is a very interesting word. Members and association of the enterprise. Now, when they start using that, they're speaking towards this enterprise, which is the racket, the racket, right? Individuals who are not on the defendant's contact list. Okay. By the way, I'm gonna be honest with you. Anybody in jail, nobody in jail has ever put Akademiks on their contact list. So most time when I'm talking to anybody in jail, it's a three-way call. Like just being very, and I don't want to mention anybody's name, but everybody who I've ever talked to in jail is three-way, because who the fuck is, I'm not even gonna answer. Like, there's no person who think they're cool with me that much. They're like, oh, I'm gonna call Ak every 2 days or every day. Hell no. So I say that to say this is kind of very popular. It's against BOP rules, but everybody does it. Like, they're kind of getting on Diddy like he's doing some other shit, like some kingpin, but other people do this, right? So then it says also non-authorized messaging services. So in addition to flouting BOP rules regarding phone use, the defendant uses a non-authorized third-party messaging service called Contact Me ASAP to obscure communications. Okay, the defendant appears to be using 2 Contact Me ASAP accounts. First, the defendant BOP contact list, including a particular email address, email 1, assigned to the defendant's son, which does not appear to be an account owned by the defendant's son, but instead appears to be an email address connected to Contact Me ASAP. Second, the defendant appears to be using another inmate's Contact Me ASAP account, primarily using email. One, the defendant has exchanged hundreds of text messages via Contact Me ASAP with dozens of individuals, including attorneys and individuals who are not on the defendant's contact list. The defendant's repeated circumvention of the BOP regulations, starting almost immediately after arriving at MDC, speaks volume about his ability to comply with any of these conditions of release. Okay? I don't know what Contact Me ASAP is, but let me see. According to Contact Me ASAP website, the service purports to be an innovative text messaging service for federal inmates to communicate with the loved ones via real-time text messages and claims to offer seamless SMS conversion. Contact Me ASAP provides the email address for the inmate, which is then put on the inmate's TrueLink's computer, and from there, the inmate can immediately use the service to text contacts. Okay. Even more concerning, however, the defendant's use of these unauthorized methods of communication continues his efforts to obstruct and subvert this criminal proceeding. The defendant's intentions are reflected in his own words on BOP calls with a network of family members and associates whom the defendant has tasked with executing his will. On multiple calls, often using PAC numbers of other inmates, the defendant is explicit about his intention to use public statements to alter public perception. Now, to me, I don't think that's a problem. I think the government has leaked enough videos and done enough things, whether it's via New York Post or CNN. They're making Diddy look guilty, right? Not saying Diddy they make himself look guilty, because there's a lot of lawsuits. I get it. But they leaked some stuff that, for me in particular, once I seen that video, I was like, yo, Diddy, I can't defend you no more, bro. Or not that I was really defending him at all, but it was just like, Diddy, you probably did this shit, bro, right? And it appears that the government leaked that, right? The defendant leaves no doubt that the narrative that he wants to blah, blah, is the potential jury pool perception of this criminal proceeding. Examples of this efforts are plentiful. There's something else that's redacted. They're talking about a particular call that happened on October 21st. There's another one about a call that happened on October 15th. And then it says, notably, the defendant continues these efforts after the court, and it was requested by the defense prohibiting, this type of conduct. Basically saying that there was the defense put a gag order that the prosecutors and all investigators would have to adhere to. And the judge said, okay, everybody has to adhere to it. And they're saying the thing that the defense asked for, Diddy's the only one breaking, which, that's going to be probably convincing, right? After the court entered the order, the defendants enlisted family members to plan and execute a social media campaign around the defendant's birthday with the intention of influencing the potential jury pool in this criminal proceeding. Now, I'm going to be very honest with you, man. I think that's unfair for the government to say, bro. I'm just like, again, no horse in this fucking race, but let's be honest, chat. You're telling me that this fucking post was to influence the jury pool? That just made him look like he's a fucking human. It didn't say Diddy is innocent, they're lying on your pops. You're telling me this was to influence the jury pool? Nothing spoke about the case. All it showed was that he has multiple kids that love him, and maybe he's not the person who's as maniacal and evil as everybody's saying, because right here we're seeing a room full of love.
All right, sing happy birthday to Daddy.
Happy birthday to Daddy. Happy birthday. Keep going.
Happy birthday to
Daddy.
Keep going,
Go. Happy birthday to Daddy. Yay!
Yay!
I love y'all so much.
We love you too.
Love you, Pops. We miss
I
you.
can't wait to see y'all.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see y'all.
Yes,
And I just want to say I'm proud of y'all. I'm proud of y'all, especially the girls. I mean, all of y'all. But just for being strong. Thank y'all for being strong, and thank y'all for being by my side and supporting me. I love y'all. I got the best family in the world. My birthday, I'm happy. Thanks to y'all giving me this call. Thank you very much. I love y'all.
We love you more. Too. Can't wait to see you in a couple of days.
I'll see y'all in a couple of days.
Say it again.
What you say?
I love you, Daddy.
Yeah.
I love you too, baby.
She eat it, yo, Pops.
Hi, we're right here.
Chance right here on the phone too. Pops, love eating all your cake, so you're not gonna have none left.
She's literally digging her face in it.
We're gonna have to buy you a new one. Yo, she's spaced down in the cake right now. Say hey, Chance.
Happy birthday to Mom. We love you.
Chance is right here too, if you can hear. On the phone. One more time.
Hey, Chance.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, baby. I love you.
Love you too. Miss you. See you soon.
Okay, that's
Alright, sing happy birthday to Dad.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think like humanizing a nigga is not tainting the jury pool. Like everything we're seeing says this guy's a monster. You get what I'm saying? Okay, so at the defendant's carefully curated direction, the defendant's children posted a video to their respective social media accounts, showing the defendant's children gathered to celebrate his birthday. Defendant from within MDC then monitored the analytics. Oh, it says, oh shit, Diddy is in the jail cell looking at the analytics from the post. The engagement and explicitly discussed with the family how to ensure the video had his desired effect on the potential jury members. Ooh, okay, all right. Maybe I spoke too soon. I don't know how we could think that video is going to just affect jury, but okay. So there's a November 4th call on that, and then there's something on another thing on November 4th. It's telling you the time period in the call. I guess 1 minute to 2:15 and 3:15. Besides flagrantly violating the court's order prohibiting this kind of interference with a fair trial, the defendant's own words make it clear that its intent is to improperly influence the jury pool. Oh wow, there's a lot of redacted stuff that I guess they're gonna either bring it up at the hearing, or they think it's gonna be for the trial. The defendant's effort to obstruct the integrity of this proceeding also include relentless efforts to contact potential witnesses, including victims of his abuse who could provide powerful testimony against him. For example, on October 4th, a call involving the defendant and one of his adult sons, the defendant says, it's kind of interesting how they're saying this, because if they're talking about witness tampering and things like that, if y'all really think it's so cut and dry and y'all have all these phone calls and y'all think it's so obvious and blatant what Diddy's doing, why don't y'all lock up his sons and charge Diddy and his sons for doing it? Like, why are you only coming with this as supplementary evidence for bail? Okay. Anyway, they come back with the same thing about defendants a danger to others, and then they basically take aim at his bail package, saying it was insufficient. Okay. Then they have a bunch of exhibits. Most of them are redacted, and then they kind of show a bunch of transcripts of the previous bail hearings to say, yo, everybody operated as they should have, and he was denied bail, and that's what the ruling should be. So we'll see if he gets bail. I don't think he's going to get bail. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. Yeah. You know, whether true or not, I think they have too many instances or allegations that he's contacting witnesses. And I think they've been either listening to these jail calls, or they have his phone calls or text messages that shows him reaching out. And that's going to be a no-go. So I don't think he's going to get bail, but shit, he's going to still try. And I get it. He should try, right? Okay.
Everyone knows every time Diddy's name comes up in something, it's always some freaky issue by the sea, man. Now, in what's new, you feel me? Now, new information's coming out. Diddy lost a lawsuit where he essentially owes $100-something million. That person, I'm not gonna lie, bro, you're never seeing that money. It's sad to say. You're never ever seeing that money ever. Yeah. Is the diddler. You're never seeing that money. Got some of the best lawyers in the world. He's a billionaire still, supposedly. You feel me? He's liquidating his assets now, selling houses and doing all that. But bro, you're not seeing any money. Like, Diddy's the only reason he won the case because Diddy just never went to court. That's it. But it's your boy Big Act News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let me know how you guys feel about everything. And I'm out.